Hi friends, in this video I am going to explain about introduction to cellular mobile communication. సో టాపిక్లోకి వెళ్ళబోయే ముందుగా మీరు కనుక నా ఛానల్ని ఫస్ట్ టైం విజిట్ చేసినట్లు కనుక అయితే ముందుగా నా ఛానల్ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి అండ్ అలాగే అందరికంటే ముందుగా నోటిఫికేషన్ని పొందడం కోసం పక్కనే ఉన్న బెల్ ఐకాన్ని క్లిక్ చేయండి. సో లెట్స్ గో టు ద టాపిక్. So here is the definition for the cellular mobile communication. A cellular mobile communication is defined as a mobile communication system that uses a combination of radio transmission and conventional telephone communication to and from mobile users within a specified area. Let us take an example. So regularly we are seeing our mobile towers. So it is used for both transmitting our signals and receiving our signals. So the signal is an radio transmitted signal. So if we want to communicate with our friends or relatives, then we have to call to them is the transmission signal, and if they lift, and that is the received signal. So for every tower it has some specified area based on the frequency which is limited to that particular tower. So these are the contents I am going to explain in this video. What is a cellular mobile communication? What is a cell and type of cell sizes, principles of mobile communication, early mobile systems, cellular system architecture, what is a cluster, advantages of mobile communication and disadvantages of cellular mobile communication. So what is a cellular mobile communication? A cellular mobile communication system uses a large number of low power wireless transmitters to create a cell. Here the cell is nothing but a geographical area. As we discussed in our definition, it is a specified area. So variable power levels allows cells to be sized according to subscriber density and demand within a particular region. As mobile users travels from cell to cell, their conversations are handed off between cells. Channels used in one cell can be reused in another cell some distance away. So let us take an example. Here cell is nothing but let us assume as antenna or a mobile tower. If you are traveling from one place to another place, then the towers will be changed, so frequencies are also changed. Here handed off means, so whenever you change the tower or some particular area, then also you are getting full signal strength and you are transmitting your data from one place to another place. So what is a cell? A cell is a geographical area covered by the frequency emitted by a base station in a cellular network. These frequencies are then used by many mobile devices or subscribers to carry out simultaneous conversations. These cells can be classified based on their ranges and capacity. So as we discussed in definition, a cell is nothing but a specified area. So in this cell we can also reuse the frequencies which are already used. So these are the different types of cell sizes. There are 5 types of cell sizes in mobile communication. First one is the macro. So macro, it is usually ranges from 1 kilometer to 20 kilometers. These are designed for use within cars. Power consumption to be conveniently portable. And the second one is micro cell size. It is usually ranges from 400 meters to 2 kilometers. It requires low transmission power which is less than 20 megawatts. And third one picocell size. It ranges from 4 meters to 200 meters. It requires low transmission power, which is less than 20 megawatts. And the fourth one, femtocell size, which is usually of range 10 meters to 12 meters. It requires less transmission power than compared to previous cell sizes. Umbrella cell size is the final one, which is a smaller in size. Those are grouped and assumed to be under a large cell, and it also requires less transmission power. So here is the basic principle of cellular mobile communication. Mobile uses a separate and temporary radio channel to talk to the cell site. Cell site talks to many mobiles at once using one channel per mobile. Let us take an example. If we are talking with one person, then third person wants to talk with any one of these two persons, then at the time it says like your trying person is busy with some other person, like that. And channels uses a pair of frequencies for communication. Here are the two frequencies. First one is the forward link for transmitting from the cell site, and the reverse link for the cell site to receive calls from the users. Radio energy dissipates over distance, so mobiles must stay near the base station to maintain a communication. So have a look into the diagram. Here we are using two links, which is a forward link and reverse link for transmitting and receiving the signal in between antenna and the user. So here PSTN is nothing but public switching telephone network, which is a closed network. Basic structure of mobile networks includes telephone systems and radio services, where mobile radio services operates in a closed network and has no access to the telephone systems. Mobile telephone services allows interconnection to the telephone network. Early mobile system. Traditional mobile services was structured in a fashion similar to television broadcasting. Let us take an example. In previous days, for television, there is no set-top boxes or wireless communications. At the time, we use an Aguda antenna which is placed at a certain height. Then only we get the communication between satellite to the television. As like that, we are using some antennas at certain height to get the communication between mobiles through wired networks. And wireless network is the example for early mobile systems. One very powerful transmitter located at the height spot in an area would broadcast in a radius of up to 50 kilometers. Cellular concept structured the mobile telephone network in a different way. Many low power transmitters were placed throughout a coverage area. For example, dividing a metropolitan region into 100 different cells with low power transmitters using 12 channels each. Cellular system architecture. A cellular system architecture looks like a hexagonal shape which used at particular frequency range within a specified area. As with early mobile radio system, the base station communicates with mobiles via a channel. The channel is made up of two frequencies. One is for transmitting to the base station and the second one is the receiver information from the base station. So here is the architecture for cellular mobile communication. An increase in demand and the poor quality of existing service leads to research into ways to improve the quality of service and support more users in systems. Frequency spectrum available for mobile cellular use was limited. For example, based on frequency, the area was covered for communicating between one user to another user. Therefore, efficient use of these frequencies was necessary. In modern cellular telephony, rural and urban regions are divided into areas according to specific provisioning guidelines. For example, let us take an example in our mobile communication. For every region, they will install towers with some particular or fixed frequencies for communicating from one place to another place. Deployment parameters such as amount of cell splitting and cell sizes are determined by engineers experienced in cellular system architecture. So, what is a cluster? A cluster is a group of cells. As we said in previous slides, a cell is a geographical area. So, here the combination of two or more cells is called as cluster. In this cluster, we cannot reuse the frequencies like as cells. No channels are reused within a cluster. So here is the structure or architecture of cluster, which is formed with several cells. So these are the benefits of cellular network. It provides voice or data services even while roaming. It connects both fixed and wireless telephone users. It is used in areas where cables cannot be laid out due to its wireless nature. It is easy to maintain. It is easy to upgrade the equipments. The mobile and fixed subscribers are connected immediately with cellular network as soon as mobile phones are switched on. For easily understanding, let us take an example. If we turn on our mobile phone, then automatically it connects to the nearest tower and provides both the voice and data services. So here are the disadvantages of cellular network or drawbacks of cellular mobile communication. It offers less data rate compared to wired networks such as fiber optics, DSL, etc. The data rate varies based on wireless standards such as GSM, CDMA, LTE, etc. Macro cells are affected by multipath signals loss. The capacity is lower and depends on channels or multiple access techniques employed to serve subscribers. As the communication is over the network air, it has security vulnerabilities. It requires high cost in order to set up cellular network infrastructure. The wireless communication is influenced by physical obstructions, climatic conditions, and interference from other wireless devices. The installation of antennas for cellular network requires space and foundation tower. Let us take an example for installing a mobile tower, then it requires some space, and also in these we are using radio signals. While transmitting these signals in air, there is a chance of addition of noise in the channel. It is the major drawback of the cellular network. Thank you for your valuable time. Have a nice day. I hope everyone is understand the topic, and please like, share and comment. So if you want any other topic, please comment in the comment section. Thank you. Thank you all.